So, the world as I see it, I think that's what it's all about. How do you see the world? Because how you see the world is how you are in the world. How you are in the world. So, the talk title today is Inside, Outside, Upside Down, which is a little shout out to Dr. Seuss. But also, it's this idea that when we live from the inside, things tend to go well. When we try to live from the outside in, we are reactionary and things don't tend to go well. And then we get downside up and upside down. So, Gandhi said, true happiness is when what you believe, what you say, and what you do are in alignment with each other. And that is the definition of integrity, right? When what you believe, what you say, and what you do are in alignment with each other, and if you're uncomfortable, if it doesn't feel good, if you're not happy, he says this is true happiness, then it behooves us to look, where's the gap? Is there a gap between what I believe and what I say? Is there a gap between what I say and what I do? Is there a gap between what I believe and what I do? And how can I try to close that gap? Get them closer and closer and closer together so that I can begin to live a life of happiness. We're going to talk some more about happiness next month and whether that's truly a worthy goal. Hint, it is. Yeah. So, integrity, the Webster definition is in possession of firm principles or completeness or wholeness. Integrity comes from the word to integrate, to bring together into the whole, to unify, like as in unity. So, are we living in integrity? That's a good question to be able to ask ourselves every day. Well, I can tell you, if I'm living in, well, if they hadn't, I wouldn't have had to, then I'm not in integrity. Now, I might be in integrity with myself if that's what I believe, is that everybody else is responsible for how I am, and I will be miserable. I will be miserable. So Gandhi's wrong about that. If I choose to see the world in a certain way, then even if I am acting on those beliefs, which we see that all around us, right? People who believe that it's every man for himself, who believe that if I don't get mine, it doesn't matter if you get yours as long as I get mine. So we got to look first at what the belief is. How do you see the world? Is it a remarkable place? It certainly is. Is it a place that's in trouble? Yeah, it kind of looks like it. But where do you want to live from? Where do you want to live from? So when we are outside in, we're reactionary, right? We're waiting to see what he does so we'll know what we're going to do. We're waiting to see what they say so we can know what we're going to say back. And the more clever we are in saying it, the more postable it is on social media. Yeah? Outside in, reactionary response. But anything that's outside in, it's not even just necessarily that kind of back and forth that I'm talking about. Religion can be an outside in thing. Somebody sets up, these are the rules, follow them, and then you shall do well. Thou shalt do well if thou wilt follow these rules. And rules imposed from the outside in don't do us any good. The laws tend to put us in sort of victim mode. Well, I have to do this. I have to do this. If I don't do this, I won't be any good in the world. It puts us again at the mercy of others. Maybe not the guy sitting across the table from us, but the guy 2,000 years ago who wrote this down in a book and decided that he knew more about your life today than you did. Yeah. So, even religion, the rules are outside, and then we bring them in. And when we allow that outside thing, whatever it is, I'm not saying it doesn't matter what religion it is. Well, if it's the right religion, it's okay. Is it, though? Not until you have adopted it as the truth for yourself. If that's what you truly believe, and then you act and you speak from there, then fine. But because it's outside of yourself is not a good reason. Don't do what the world tells you to do. Be who the world tells you to be. You have within you already the source. You can go to God directly. You don't need an intercessionary. You can go to the divine, the one, easily and quickly. You can go there, and you can ask that source. The Buddha said, maybe he still says it, I don't know. It is proper to doubt, to be uncertain. Do not go upon what has been acquired by repeated hearing, nor upon tradition, nor upon rumor, nor upon what is in Scripture, nor upon the consideration, the monk is our teacher. Don't do any of that stuff. He said, don't do it. Even if I tell you to do it, don't do it. When you yourself know these things are bad, when undertaken and observed, these things lead to harm and ill, abandon them. Likewise, when you yourselves know these things are good, when undertaken and observed, these things lead to benefit and happiness, then enter on and abide in them. You know. You may not have asked yourself in a while. It sometimes is easier, even though following the rules seems very limiting. In a way, it's a lot easier because you're abdicating responsibility. That's what I did in the religion of my childhood, which was beautiful in its own way. There's nothing wrong with the way, well, there are a few things wrong with the way I grew up, but there's nothing wrong with the religion in its pure form. It was how it was presented to me as a child. But I grew up believing there is a rule book, and if I just do exactly what the rules say to school every part of my life, even my own thinking, then I will be okay. I will be good. Surely I'll be happy. Or at least I'll be happy after I'm dead when everybody else is burning. And I get to be in heaven. I reached a place in my life as a young woman where I went, I have followed every one of these rules to the very, very best of my ability, and my life is falling apart. Maybe there's something more. Maybe there's something more. And even if you don't follow the rules like I did, I know that's kind of rare to just like, oh, anything you say. I know my brother and sisters, they were like, you believed all that stuff? We talk about it. They were like, I never bought that. Well, I did. I bought it. They didn't buy it, but you know what they did? They rebelled against it. Do you get it? It's from the outside in. It doesn't matter if it comes from the outside and I follow it, or if it comes from the outside and I rebel against it. Either way is reactionary. Either way, it's living outside in instead of inside out. We get things backward. We think that we must have things so that we can be a certain way, and then we'll do what's right. We have to get what we need so we can do what's right, and then we will be a better person. Think about that for a minute. Get what you need, then you'll be able to do what you're supposed to do. Then you'll be a good person. The opposite of outside in is inside out. Even though that phrase is used in our colloquialisms to mean something's wrong, really inside out is exactly perfect. To know who you are and be it. That's your belief. To know who you are and then live from that place. And then your actions and your words will follow who you are being. If you are truly being that, then you're going to say words in alignment with that. You're going to do actions that are in alignment with that. We are going to have our needs met. We're going to know how we want to react in any situation because we know who we are. Do you know who you are? Have you asked yourself lately? Because sometimes insidiously who we are is undergoing some changes, maybe some outside-in changes, because the world is getting a lot worse, so who wouldn't react this way, right? I'm right to react this way. How does it feel in my soul? Do I feel good? when I'm in that reaction. Oh, maybe for a moment I feel gleeful when I come up with the proper comeback. But do I feel good? Do I feel peace inside? If not, I need to ask again, who am I? Who am I? Who do I wish to be? But I'm here to tell you, you're wishing to be who you already are, right? You were created in love. You are that love. We put layers over the top of it and we forget about it, but the truth is, deep within you, your source is love. Your substance is love. And so removing all those layers allows us to be who we are. And then when we know who we are, we act from that place. We speak from that place. And then when we do, you will miraculously find, if you have not yet, that your needs are met. My needs are met when I live from who I am, not from who I think I should be, not from whom others think I should be, not from the rules, but from the truth of who I am. Then my needs are met. And I gotta say, my needs are simpler. My needs are simpler. And yet, what I find in my life is that my needs are overmet. I'm not just barely meeting my needs. I have a life of abundance. I have a life of love. I have a life of friendship. I have a life of joy. I have a life of passion. My needs are more than met. Jesus in the Gospel of Thomas, Logion 7, this is one of the weirdest ones. Happy is the lion that the human will eat. So the lion becomes human. And foul is the human that the lion will eat, and the lion still will become human. I think that's his way of saying that if we take in the world, then we don't lose our humanity. If we allow the world to take us in, then we've lost it. We've lost it. When the human eats the lion, he incorporates all of the passions of the world into soul energy, into spirit. When the lion eats the human, he's been consumed by his passions, consumed by the world of form. Inside out or outside in? Take a look at the world around you. Also, we tend to live often downside up. We are tuned because we got these bodies. We got these, if you think about it, not terribly comfortable bodies that our infinite soul, our infinite spirit, our eternal spirit was squished down into for a short period of time. So we got to deal with temporal things. We got to deal with pain. We got to deal with the suffering that we make out of that pain. We got a lot to deal with in these bodies. So of course, outside in, body to soul, right? Of course, we do tend to act from our ego needs and our physical needs. Those can become foremost in our mind. And that is also downside up, okay? Let's think of the soul, the spirit, as the heavenly realm, not literally up, but a higher place in consciousness. And then we get downside up. We're just taking all this muck down here and then trying to lift it up there, rather than what is the consciousness here, bring it down into the physical. Same thing with the human and the lion. So we can spiritualize ego. We can get temporary feelings of peace and love, right? Have you ever gone, look at me, I did such a good deed. I'm doing really great now. And then we can look and say, okay, why did I do that deed? Did I do that deed so I could feel good or because it was kind? Did I do that deed so somebody could see me looking good so that I can get approval? Not that I would ever do that. Did I do that deed? Why did I do that deed? I think once we become unconscious and we're just doing from that place of where we believe, of who we are, then things get really, really easy. But our ego can take that over. So we have to keep watch. I wish I could say I banished my ego to the back seat We still need ego. If you're going to function on this planet, you can't do it without an ego. The ego is not evil or wrong. The ego has no business being in the driver's seat, or really even that close in the passenger seat. Ego's better in the back seat, right? He's there. You can call on him when you need to, but he doesn't run things. He doesn't run things at all. So we start to... Because here's the thing, it is impossible to get to love by reasoning with the ego. Reasoning with the ego gets us to, well, but this is really bad. And if they're going to go to war against me, then I have to pick up my gun. What other choice do I have except to go to war against them? That is ego, right? That's happening. And when I'm reasoning, that seems like the only smart thing, right? We do that, and that's an extreme example, but in so many ways, in smaller ways, we do that. Well, of course, tit happens, so tat has to happen. That's the way we get balance in the universe. Is it? Or is the way we get balance by actually finding center and staying there no matter what? Yeah. That's the place. Thanks for agreeing with me. I'd love to be agreed with. So, what we want is, instead of being downside up, instead of trying to spiritualize our ego, I've been really kind today, is we want to start living upside down, from awareness and consciousness, from the God within, to allow our higher self, that plane of consciousness, that plane of love that remembers who we are, inform us, help to break our patterns, the patterns that we get into and that we don't even realize we're engaging in because they're such deeply held patterns, patterns that we got from the outside. Because here's the deal. We have, all of us, this wisdom and this intuition that is available to us at all times. And when we're talking inside out or downside up, when we listen to our knowledge and information that we have gained by learning from the world, then that also is outside in. Inside out is, what does my deepest self say? Have I even opened enough to allow room for my intuition and my innate wisdom? Because wisdom is not smarts. Wisdom is wise. Wisdom bypasses the ego. Wisdom bypasses the brain. Wisdom is what you know that you know, and you don't know how you know it, but you know it. That's your intuition and wisdom. So that, again, is inside out. Start listening to that voice. So we want upside down. We want the higher self-consciousness. Heaven is how it's put in the Lord's Prayer. We want heaven, okay, on earth as it is in heaven. We want heaven to come down to earth so that earth reflects what is in the higher consciousness, to manifest on earth as it is in heaven. Or, as it said in this translation, let your will come true in the universe, in all that vibrates. Just as on earth, all that is material and dense. Upside down, awareness, consciousness, God within, the higher self informing us, breaking patterns, allowing us to be free so that energy flows. Because once the energy is flowing, once you're not putting up roadblocks like should, roadblocks like have to, roadblocks like it's the only sensible thing to do, roadblocks like patterns and habits and addictions, right? Once we're not putting up roadblocks, then the energy flows, and then we have access all the time to that wisdom and intuition. That's what they tell me. I'm not going to tell you that I have broken all the patterns and I have no addictions and now I'm constantly in touch with my wisdom. But the more I practice letting go of those things, the more I make it my goal in a day to be who I am and then to make all my decisions from there, to choose love, as the song says, the more I get in touch with that innate wisdom. And the easier it is, the quicker it comes to me, because I've cleared those paths. I've cleared those paths by clearing the patterns. There's still a lot of boulders in my path, but maybe there aren't giant mountains like there used to be, right? So we're clearing out the boulders and the pebbles and whatever else is in the way, because we are energy. Ultimately, that's what we are. We are energy, and everything we do matters. And I mean that in a very literal way as well as the metaphysical way. Everything we do matters because it's important, right? Because we are one with the one, and so we affect the whole thing. Everything we do, think, everything we are affects the whole thing. And everything we do matters. On this plane, what you do turns into real stuff in the world. It becomes matter. Our energy becomes matter. We create things on this planet. We create enmity. We create home. We have an endless array of things that we can create. Are we creating from our insides, from that place of love, or are we creating from a different place? That's what we ask ourselves. Because here's the deal. It's not about blame at all. This is not about, oh, I'm not living from who I really am, and it's my fault, and I need to feel guilty. Not that at all. We're not guilty. You're not wrong. You're just human. We're not guilty, but we're responsible. And that's the hard path of New Thought, is that we're responsible. You know, when we're living outside in, they're responsible. When we're living outside in from a fundamentalist type religion, well, they told me that, so that's what I got to do. I don't have to think. I don't have to intuit. I don't have to get into my own wisdom, because somebody 2,000 years ago already had that wisdom, and I don't need to check in with it anymore. It's written down. That's all outside in. And that is abdicating responsibility for the energy that you create on this planet. And so it's not about guilt, it's not about blame, but it's about taking responsibility. We are responsible. I'm going to read this that I wrote because I like it. We are responsible for the energies we summon, the energies we entertain, the energies we exude, the energies we attract, the energies that we choose to combine with, the energies we express. And we're responsible for how all of that plays out in the world. That's a lot of responsibility, y'all. But those combinations of energies add up to great power. And everything we do matters. And I dare say, if you look around the world, those of us who have an inkling that love is who we are, and love is what is ours to do, the more energy we can summon around that, the better. The more what we do matters in the world. We will have our effect. It cannot be otherwise. This is the truth. So, don't let the lion eat you. That's what I leave you with. Let's take a few moments to take that into meditation. So I invite you to just be where you are. In this moment, you're not responsible for anything except what's right here. And the soul is not in the body is in the soul. So as we breathe, let's just acknowledge that. We don't breathe a little spirit in and let it enrich us. We allow ourselves to get an inkling of the truth that we are waves in an infinite ocean of spirit. We couldn't get away from it if we tried. Unfortunately, we do try and we fool ourselves. So in this moment, I just invite you to allow that spirit energy, that soul energy, that energy of love to be what it already is in you. To allow not only your body, but your whole being, your emotions, your thoughts, allow them to rest in that truth. Love is who I am. If you will, repeat that inside your head 2 or 3 times at least. Love is who I am. Love is who I am. Love is who I am. Keep repeating that affirmation and see if it doesn't set loose something inside you that has been tight. Some little part of you that maybe is afraid that you're not right, that you're not enough, that you're not good. That in some way it's hopeless or it's no use. When you allow the truth of love is who I am to permeate, then none of those other things stands a chance. Because nothing unlike love can stand in the face of love. So breathe that love. You are bathed in it. Allow it to permeate you. Allow you to permeate it until there's no separation. Separation was only an illusion anyway. You always were love. You always will be love. Love is who you are. Love is who I am. Love is who I am. And when you begin to allow that in, to allow that truth to live its life in you, when we allow that truth to live its life in us, then the decisions about what to say and what to do get easier. We more naturally respond from the love that we are. Again, love is breathing you, and you are breathing love, both. I hope at this point you feel some untying of fetters within you, some chain links breaking and dropping away. And that you get some deep soul rest in this truth. I am love. I am love. All along, I thought I wasn't, but I am. I am love. And I invite you at the end of this meditation, when you open your eyes, to take that with you, not to grasp it tightly. You don't have to. It's not going anywhere. It's who you are. But allow it to be in your awareness. And when you start to feel that gap between who you are and how you're living in the world, I invite you to take a breath of love in love, reminding ourselves, love is who I am. Love is who I am. And allow it to transform your thoughts, to transform your actions, to transform how you occupy this world. Tomorrow morning when you get up, perhaps think again, love. That's it, love. That's who I am. Love is who I am. So it is, so it has always been, and so shall it be. Amen.